Now, I know I throw the word classic around a lot, but today's movie is an underrated gem. It has everything a horror movie should have. It's got exploding heads. It's got uh, main character turning into a pile of amorphous thing. It's got a woman getting her tongue cut out. It's got a giant dick attacking people. It's got sex. It's got boobs. It's got blood. It's got everything a horror movie should have. And it is great. One of the best movies I've seen in a while. Not counting, mainstream Hollywood pictures. Well, counting some of them, because some of them I've seen are kind of bad and garbage. But one of the best horror movies I've seen on Tubi in a while. We'll say Tubi because Tubi is, kind of Tubi-ish. It is called Call Girl of Cthulhu. And in this movie, we follow a man who starts dating a call girl who gets pregnant with Cthulhu's child, gives birth to Cthulhu's child, and then they have to stop the cult of Cthulhu from ending the world. Now, we start off at the end of the picture with the guy in handcuffs giving his statement to a detective about why there are like 40 some dead bodies in this church and why he was the only survivor and why he shouldn't go to jail for the murder of these 40 some people. At least they think it's 40 some. They don't know because the dead bodies, they're still piecing them together, all the people who died. And why he shouldn't go to jail for the murder of all these people. So he starts at the beginning with him watching a video, mocking him for being a virgin and teaching him how to have sex, which we see nudity in. This is just some of the nudity in this movie. We get to see a bunch of nudity in this movie. Now, then we see him stare out at the call girl of his obsession, Riley, who's meeting with another tenant in his building, who we later find out left his wife and is in love with Riley. Which, big tip here, do not fall in love with a hooker. You may be tempted to. We know they're attractive and mysterious and have crazy hooker ways. But do not fall in love with a hooker. Hookers do not love you back. Hookers are in love with your money and typically drugs and sometimes sex, or sometimes they're nymphomaniacs. Typically, hookers do not love you. So do not leave your wife for a hooker or a call girl, as they're called in this, as he calls her in this movie. Hookers are call girls. They're basically the same thing. So do not leave your wife for one. And then we see his roommate, Erica, getting ready to have sex with a man, but she doesn't have condoms, so she refuses. And so they send our main character, Carter, out to buy condoms, and he has to buy art supplies because he's an artist. So he goes out, and that's when we cut to the hotel room where the Church of Cthulhu has the book out, and we see what they're looking for. They're looking for a hooker with this birthmark on her of Cthulhu on her butt. And they get a hooker, but she doesn't have the birthmark, so they kill her and leave the hotel room. Then we see the people fighting the cult of Cthulhu, or the Church of Cthulhu as it's called in this. Church, cult, it's basically the same thing. I mean, Scientology is a cult, and it's called a church. So Well, now I'm going to get sued by Scientologists. I'll get to meet Tom Cruise then. But anyways. And they leave the Book of Cthulhu in the hotel room. So the people fighting Cthulhu go and get the book. But two of them die. The lesbians die. So there's some lesbian action in this movie too. But they escape with the book. But the hooker dies. So now they've got the book. Well, Riley or Carter meets up with Riley and gets her business card and calls her for a date. But chickens out of having sex with her. And Stidge is like, can I draw you? I guess he draws her so fine and talks so sweet to her that she agrees to go on a date with him for no charge, which hookers typically don't do. Yeah, they don't typically do that. Yeah. Anyways. But right before the date, the people fighting Cthulhu meet up with Carter because he's an artist. And they've seen his artwork in magazines and stuff. And hire him to redraw all the pictures in a fake book of Cthulhu that the cult of Cthulhu can't use then to summon Cthulhu. Which, by the way, the fake book Cthulhu never really comes into play, except them going, which one's the real book? So, I don't see the point of it, but hey. But anyways, they go on a date. And they're about to have sex when Carter blurts out that it's his first time. And Riley leaves to go work as a stripper. Now, in between this date, we see Riley's pimp take a bunch of hookers over to the Cult of Cthulhu's church. And the Cult of Cthulhu's leader asked to see all their buttocks. Now, this isn't unusual for a person to want to see buttocks of hookers. So the pimp thinks nothing of it. But the guy's disappointed in all of them. So he sends them all into the cage with the zombie demon things to turn them into more zombie demons. Now, the pimp says he refuses to reveal Riley's location, who has the birthmark of Cthulhu on her. But eventually he is persuaded after being turned into a zombie demon thing. And that's when she gets the call to go work as a stripper. They eventually find her and summon Cthulhu. And that's when she becomes pregnant with Cthulhu's baby and goes on a killing spree. She goes on a killing spree then. And is slowly being transformed into this amorphous blob thing that gives birth to Cthulhu's baby. Now, I got to wrap this up because I'm already at the 10-minute mark. So, okay. Got to kind of start wrapping this up. So anyways, this all leads up to a showdown in the house where they're trying to get the books back. Because the black chick who was with the doctor who was fighting the Cult of Cthulhu, the doctor got a tongue cut out and was held captive. The black chick got away. And she came back and stole the books. And then she took them to Carter to have Carter figure out which one was the real one. And then the boyfriend of Erica came back, and he is a giant dick now. I was like, you gotta fuck me now. And Erica cut off his dick and killed him. So this is when we realized that the Call of Cthulhu's henchmen are weak against Erica's music because Erica's a musician, and one of their heads blow up. But they kidnap Erica and they take the book. So they go to the Call of Cthulhu's church, and all hell breaks loose. They split up, the black chick and Carter. Carter, of course, gets captured because he's incompetent and a virgin. Apparently, virginity makes you incompetent to dangerous situations. Anyways, she gets captured. Erica's captured. They're in the cell together. They're like, we're going to die. And Carter's like, I'm going to die virgin. And Erica's like, no, you're not. And so they have sex in the cage. Black chick runs into the zombie demon things and just wipes them all out. First time she's been useful the whole movie. And they're like, we got a plan. And so the black chick and Erica go out with black chick's weapons, go kick some ass. Well, Carter goes to put Erica's music CD in his PA speakers, go blow some heads up. So they're kicking ass. And the music CD starts playing and blowing heads up. And black chick dies really easily. Like, she's like in awe of Cthulhu, and then she like kneels before him, and the ringleader of the Call of Cthulhu just stabs her in the head. It's a really worthless death, considering we just saw her kick so much ass. Anyways, Erica's kicking ass again, and she stabs the baby to death. And then Carter comes in, and and Riley, remember the hooker, the call girl, who's the amorphous pile of goo now, is like, do you still think I'm pretty? He is in shock of this. Well, Erica, who killed her baby, is now stabbing her repeatedly. And Carter says the magic words that shut the portal. And him and Erica are finally going to be together. And then Riley kills Erica. Makes her head, puts her tentacle through her head. And then Riley's head explodes. Carter's covered in blood. And then we go back to the detective, and the detective's like, I don't believe any of this story. And sends Carter to the loony bin. And that's the end of the movie. It's a truly great, epic movie that I just completely told you about. One of the best horror movies I have seen this year. It's called Call Girl of Cthulhu. It's on Tubi. Check it out. I didn't do it any justice telling you about it. It is truly great.